Cybertron Games developed by High Moon Studios could be making an appearance back on the digital store shelves as soon as the end of this year. Earlier today, we received news about Microsoft Studios working on 2 new games codenamed Transformers. This comes from a TFW post and it states, quote, "We have received some intel stating that Microsoft Studios is working on not just 1 but 2 video game projects, simply codenamed Transformers. While we do not have any information at the moment, both projects seem to be targeting this year for their release. It is interesting that Microsoft Studios now owns Activision Blizzard, formerly known as Activision. The company prior to the acquisition by the tech giant published multiple Transformers-related video games titles, including Transformers War for Cybertron and the follow-up sequel, Fall of Cybertron. There has been a renewed fan interest for the aforementioned games in the recent times. We will update you as soon as we receive info." Keep in mind, this comes immediately after the news that Microsoft is making a deal with Marvel to relist the old Spider-Man games and the old Marvel games, which does kind of add some credence to this report. This is massive news because if this is true, that would mean that Microsoft has heard what the community wants. Within the past year or so, fans have been asking and demanding that the old Transformers games, Transformers War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron, and the rest, should be brought back, whether it be a remake or a remaster, or just restoring the old multiplayer servers and relisting the games. Obviously, the 2 games that Microsoft would want to bring back are Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron. These 2 games were a lot of people's childhood classics and what people loved the most back in the day. But since Microsoft is only rumored to be working on 2 projects with the codename of Transformers, what about Transformers Devastation, Rise of the Darkspark, and the rest? Not to mention the old movie tie-in games, some of which are loved by many almost as much as the Cybertron games, like Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon. I think the one game out of these 4 that I just listed that fans would probably want the most back is Transformers Devastation. There are so many fans of Devastation and it is highly requested to be relisted. Why would Microsoft just leave it out? I believe it could be due to the fact that Transformers Devastation did not have multiplayer or servers, so they don't really need to work on the game as they would need to with the Cybertron games. For example, the Cybertron games are multiplayer heavy and require servers to work. Microsoft would need to put some time and effort into either remastering or remaking and restoring the servers. But Devastation, on the other hand, is a completely single player experience. Perhaps they don't really need to do any extra work on the game and it can be relisted as is. But as far as the games like Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon go, that could be a tricky question to answer and I'm not really qualified to speak on those games. Now we should touch on something else that is quite important: the potential of Transformers re-releases being brought to Xbox and PC Game Pass. We know Microsoft has been looking to expand their Game Pass catalog. They want to include a wide variety of games to appeal to all audiences. This is why they're pushing for games like COD, Indiana Jones, and Star Wars to be put onto the Game Pass. Transformers would fit perfectly into their new Game Pass formatting. Transformers Devastation and Darkspark could appeal to the younger audience of Game Pass subscribers, whereas Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron could appeal to the older audience of subscribers. I'm just saying it is a possibility that Microsoft is only bringing these games back to be a Game Pass exclusive to get more consumers to join their service. A few other thoughts that I had was that this all could be cross-marketing for Transformers Reactivate. We know Transformers Reactivate is slated for a 2025 release date due to the leaked Hasbro internal document. So, Game Awards is once again a pretty likely event to showcase Transformers Reactivate. Perhaps Microsoft would like to bank off of the newfound relevancy of the Transformers gaming scene once Transformers Reactivate is revealed once again. So many eyes would be on Transformers Reactivate, but since TFR is not coming out until later on in the next year, being 2025, the best thing for Hasbro and Microsoft to do would be relist the older Transformers games, both to make money off of the surrounding hype of Reactivate, but also to tide fans over until the launch of Reactivate later on in 2025. I think we know that brand synergy is something that Hasbro has been trying to do for a while, and they just know it works. But in the end, we would just have to wait and see. Could you imagine that these 2 games are just Transformers 1 movie tie-in games? But yeah, let me know your thoughts, and it's been TFReaper. I'll see you all boys later.